So I'm going to need some lobby music if I ever try this again, for one thing. All right. 8 o'clock is in just a couple seconds. So I'm going to face the camera kind of like this. And how's my lighting? Contrast. Yeah. All right. That's going to have to do it. Hello, everyone. My name is Steve. This is my first live stream ever on YouTube. So this is going to be kind of a trial run here, a sandbox, if you will. So that's my first. I'm going to try to avoid saying that word, that utterance. Instead, I'll direct you to my armor vest. This thing has gotten me through many a scrap. I don't know what I'd do without it. I will go into where that came from, how I made it, the materials I used to build it, as well as some other props and costumery and set design pieces, perhaps. I'll have to come upon them as we watch these videos because I can't recall at the top of my head which kind of sets I've constructed that was particularly. Oh, I can think of a couple now. Usually they involve the green screen, which is another aspect of this production I'd like to get into with you. And I'm sure you're wondering all about it, how I pulled it off. I know sometimes I even surprise myself. Anyway, let's get started with the very first episode of ManHeat. I'm going to go into my browser here, and this is one of the characters. Here's a behind the scenes take of me playing this one character. Right, I think that's the take I used. I did a couple other ones here. Crazy guy, crazy character. Anyway, let's go to the very first episode of ManHeat. Oh, you couldn't see that at all. Duh. All right, I'm going to move this closer to here. And I apologize. Usually a live streamer, which I'm not, I'm just a hack filmmaker. A live streamer will use some software where they can share their screen and they have a proper mic, but I have none of those things, and which is okay. This production is all about doing the best with what you've got. God damn it. All right. This is the very first episode. It was called There Are No Rules. And let's see. Maybe it was this one. Looks like I saved a couple versions and I did not look through this to see which one was the actual production one. Let's try this.
Gentlemen, there's only one rule. There are no rules.
Right? God, that was such a great episode. It was just groundbreaking. I still can't believe it myself. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit about this one. It's very near and dear to my heart. This was shot at the Douglas Preserve in Santa Barbara. And I just thought, well, this is just a fascinating location to shoot an action scene.
There's only one rule. There are no rules.
And I wanted to do that kind of arc camera movement just to really capture the intensity and the gravitas of the situation. And so my character here is wearing this hat with a bunch of feathers on it. And he's very menacing.
Gentlemen, there's only one rule. There are no rules.
Right? That's just scary as balls. When there are no rules, anything can happen. It's anyone's game, it's anyone's guess. And, well, I have nothing further to say about this masterful clip. I shot that on an iPhone SE circa 2016. Selfie mode. There was no cameraman there, believe it or not. That was all done with my hand, just going. Whoosh. And well, that was the very first version of this episode. You'll see later on, I wanted to kind of add some more production value to it. So I'll come back to this because first I want to show some. Oh man, here it is. Oh no, that's the wrong one. I am looking for the compilation. I also made a compilation that I published to YouTube, which was all these short little 3-second, 6, 9, 11, 14-second clips. You'll see. But oh man, I'm just not prepared for this, am I? Ooh, I have four viewers. Hey, you guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm really just kind of doing a trial test run. Didn't think anybody would watch. But if you're really interested in seeing this whole oeuvre of ManHeat episodes, well, thank you. I really appreciate an audience. Now I'm nervous. and I'm floundering here. What I'm looking for is my repository of ManHeat videos, and I can't seem to find the one that has all the old clips. It's essentially in a vault, an archive, if you will. So if you bear with me for one moment, I think I'll find it in just a second. Here it is. Now I can go to the second episode.
Where are the others?
All right, the playback on that one was a little stuttered. Here we go. Oh.
Where are the others?
Okay. As you can tell, what I'm doing with this series is playing my favorite stock phrases from action movies. So, where are the others? You can see that in almost every 90s to 2000s action movie from what I recall. Like mostly in action adventure television. There's a show about, it's called The 100, and it's a science fiction action adventure show. And I think they said, where are the others? in pretty much every other episode. Anyway, going back to our compilation list, let's do episode number 3. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This is
Damn it, Murphy. If the press gets wind of this, they're going to have a field day. It's an election year, for God's sake.
Oh, come on. Who hasn't heard that cliche line, right? No one uses that anymore. So part of this project is to preserve these beloved tropes and stock phrases from yesteryear, from days of yore. Let's watch it again. Look, he's like a police chief, I guess. This is shot at Santa Barbara City Hall. And this is the first episode I've done on location. And I was like, all right, what am I doing? I feel like such a jackass. I even wore a tie, wore a nice white dress shirt, and I had my old phone that was broken, doesn't even work, but I used that as my prop. So pretty much the first prop I used in the production. Let's watch it again.
Damn it, Murphy. If the press gets wind of this, they're going to have a field day. It's an election year, for God's sake.
Yeah, I just really love that performance. And here is the 4th episode I've ever made of ManHeat. Okay, this one was very big. Oh, wait. I'm thinking of something else. I do have another one-liner I want to try someday. And it's kind of an obscure one, but it was very prevalent in 90s thrillers. If you have an idea of what that might be, type it in the comments below. All right, here we go. This is shot. I wasn't allowed to shoot at my old house too often, but when I did, I tried to not show too many details of it, detailing how I live with my partner in our house. So there's not too much being given away here. But here we go.
You just don't get it, do you?
Right? How many times have you seen that in a movie? That's such a good one. It's a classic. And
You just don't get it, do you?
that face at the end
You just don't get it.
just really drives it home. All right.
You just don't get it, do you?
So in this situation, he's probably just some standard bad guy, telling the protagonist what the whole situation was about, that he just didn't understand the implications of what he was getting involved in were. This is like a third act kind of twist thing. He could have been a buddy to the protagonist and turned around on him. Turns out he's a bad guy. It can go in so many different directions. All right, let's look at episode number 5. So we are 13 minutes into the live stream, and we're on our 5th video, which means out of 117 videos, we're going to be about 2.5, 3 hours. So I'll try to breeze through these. Oh, already lost a viewer. Hey, I was expecting that. I was expecting actually to have no expectations. So here we go. Oh, this one is so good. And you can't even hear it. Again, I actually used a tripod for that for the first time in this production. Don't use external mics. That was all in phone mic. I've redone this later on for the compilation and had to overdub it. But this is shot in the Santa Barbara Rose Garden, one of my favorite places, especially when I lived downtown. I don't live downtown anymore, but such a lovely place with the mountains in the background, big eucalyptus trees, the roses, of course. And here's Luna. She makes a cameo in a lot of my episodes. And you might have noticed that she was in the second one. If you look closely, there she is. Where are the others? All right. So that was 5. I just want to say thanks for everything. Here's 6. Oh, now this is the first episode.
It's over, Murdoch. Let the girl go.
Right? Okay. Classic stock phrase. Movie line, get some rest. I haven't even looked at any of these. Should I take some time and look at the chats for a minute? If you want me to, hit 1. If not, want me to keep going, hit 2. Beholder Sphere, that's a Star Wars esoteric line. It doesn't. I'm in way over my head. Ooh. You're 1, son. Okay. Should I go back and read some of these other top chats? Let's see here. Hello, live chat people. Hey, Maxed Out Bear. Thanks so much for tuning in. You're like my ride or die fan. Actually, there's more than a couple ride or die fans in here. I'm very touched because David Hamilton is here. We go way back. But Maxed Out Bear, thank you, brother. I really appreciate your support on my art. I don't know what I'd do without you. I wanted to be a part of history. Now I can check this off my bucket list. Ooh, yeah, I'll use these. This is so much better than Cats. I want to watch it again and again. Classic SNL sketch. David Hamilton, this feels very exclusive. I think you guys are both in Ventura. Oh, doxed you. Sorry. Get some rest. Yes, totally. Is that a line or is that actual advice to me? I find this very restful, don't you? Indeed. The force is strong with the Beholder Sphere. Come on, no Star Wars. This isn't a sci-fi show, damn it. It's action adventure. Gosh. All right. Oh, but, all right. So I'm going to do 1 and 2 for Beholder Sphere. I talked about the chats, and now we're going to move on. I'm going to talk about this episode. Lock and Load. Oh, that one's coming up, Hybrid Forms. Hit it. Oh, I love that one too. I'm going to put that in a more longer form episode, and you'll see what I mean as this progresses. We're in season 1 here. There's something like 30 episodes in season 1. And don't worry about it, Maxed Out Bear. Total short timer syndrome is totally okay. And wow, there's even 8 people watching now. That's crazy. Thank you, Video Nectar. I believe in Make Believe Steve too. Make Believe Steve is my playa name when I go to festivals, Burning Man and stuff, because it gives away my real name while having a playful, fun, imaginary name. Anyway, let's go back to this. I'm gonna not have this live chat showing for now. Oh man, what's this? That's not what I wanted. Here we go. Okay, this was the first episode I've ever done using an actual set. So what I did was I went into my little storage room. There was a window above me, and this was shot in the daytime, but it was a little foggy, and I don't know where that came from. It must have been really dusty in that room that day, but it was a really cool effect. And if I had the resources for it. One thing in my wish list is a fog machine. Fog machines are so important for like night scenes. Like I've done a bunch of night scenes last week or this month, and if I had a fog machine, it would have been so much more mysterious and fun. Anyway, it's over, Murdoch. Let the girl go. Oh, here's where I use some stock imagery as the establishing shot. Um, I think that's why I don't have such a large reach, because YouTube sees that I'm using stock photography without paying for it. So they're like, no, we're not going to extend his reach. His brilliant videos are going to just be confined to his limited audience of ride or die fans who I love. So that's the establishing shot. So this is the first episode I created that actually uses an establishing shot. So, and to me, I think it just adds an element of uh, cinematic greatness to it. And the whole point was for these videos to be cinematic in nature. I wasn't the first person to come up with the idea of rattling off a bunch of stock phrases and cliche movie lines. There was this platform called Vine many years ago, and you'd have kids in their living rooms or bedrooms just rattling them off, in their t-shirts or pajama location. Found cool places to shoot because I live in Santa Barbara, and there's all kinds of cool places to shoot what could be a very compelling, action scene or dramatic scene. So do that, get some costumes, get into character, 3 to 6, 9, 12, 15 seconds. That's all you need. And Vine went away, but then Instagram came back with short form video. I was like, all right, now's my time to shine. Okay, let's watch this one more time.
It's over, Murdoch. Let the girl go.
So Murdoch was a really big bad guy name back in the 80s. And it was actually a good guy name on the A Team, but it was a bad guy's name in MacGyver. What other shows was Murdoch in? Murtaugh in Lethal Weapon. And yes, thanks, Dave Hamilton. I couldn't help but look to see what was in the live chat. Anyway, so that's Murdoch. You get it. Let the girl go. And that I posted that as a reel just recently when I realized, you know what? No one saves the girl anymore. They're all empowered, strong, stunning, and brave women. And I support that. Let's move on to episode number 7. Okay. This one was big clubs or does something stupid and almost gives them away. And he gets in the car and he had to wait till they got to the car in order for him to say something about them when they're out of earshot from their opponents. What was that? I think I took like, what was that? What was that? What was that? What was that? You can do so many, and usually I'll do these videos in one take because it's about as much energy as I really care to put into it, or used to. Everything's painstakingly planned out and produced nowadays. But back then, all right, who am I trying to kid? No, I put a lot of effort and takes into these performances. And I think it shows. This is my first car scene, too. Moving on to number 8. Which one was this one? Oh, this is a quintessential Who are you? So I had to come up with something. So I went in my storage room and set up some boots, some camping gear, a backpack that makes an appearance in a couple other videos. And what am I doing? I'm pretending I'm doing some type of physical action instead of just standing there. I could do this one again, and I plan to. But the whole cliche movie lines things, I think it's run its course. Now it's time to just come up with original stuff, or really subvert these cliches somehow. So, um, like I can be like, "Who are you?" And then the guy could be like, um, I don't know. I'm not going to come up with some weird idea right now because I'm not that talented. I'm just a hack. Anyway, 9. That was just really self-effacing, wasn't it? I am a hack. I don't mind. I didn't go to film school. I'm just doing stuff that I like to do. I think it's fun. And, if it makes someone else smile, if it just makes one other person smile, then I think I've done my job. This is number 9. This is another big set piece I created. This took me several hours of production, pre-production. Let's watch it again because I was talking over it. And some post-production color correction. I put 2 computer monitors there. I had a black blanket hanging out there. I increased the contrast so you couldn't see the rest of the room. I wanted to look like he was in a control room for maybe a disaster movie. Missiles are coming in, or a comet, or a meteor, and there's always that guy that goes, right? And that was like 2 hours of pre-production to get it all set up for a 3-second clip, and then I had to tear it all down, and that was a good one. I like it. All right. So number 10 is, we're still in the first. Okay, this is the first episode, establishing shot, but also I'm getting into some serious editing here, and I got to stop looking at this thing over here that says how many people are watching. I'm just going to minimize this. I'm not going to look at live chat. Thanks, Dave. I really appreciate that. I'm Chris, Eric's brother. Oh, Christian, I had a song I was working on. I wanted you to do a spastic Velvet Underground kind of guitar outro. And I think I talked to you about that before. I never followed up with it because I never ended up finishing the song. So, but hey, if you have any music you'd want to feature in a ManHeat episode, send it my way. Or if you have any, yeah, Poseidon's Kiss. It definitely needs to be the title of a maritime operation themed episode. I'm going to hide this for now, but thank you for saying sure. All right. This was the very first episode where I introduced another character. I call this a 2-liner. Establishing shot. This is Santa Barbara Stearns Wharf, famous tourist destination. All right, let's watch it. And this is again one of my favorite action movie cliches from back in the day.
Yeah. This may be none of my business, but I think you're wrong about that. You know what? I think you're right. This is none of your business.
I think you're right. This is none of your business. Such a zinger, and you can see how much it affected this character by the look on his face. He was really sad. I was trying to pause it, but it just looped. Anyway, this is the first one I added music to. Had two characters, handheld, so it's very shaky, in selfie mode, so it's very low resolution, but I had to do it. Now we're going to go back to our list. Let's see what number 11 was. Ooh, okay, this one, he has a hammer. I wanted to use a gun, but I didn't want to go to a public parking garage with a gun. I don't think that would have been smiled upon by any attendants in attendance.
We're not so different, you and I.
So that line could be used in a number of different contexts. In this one, it's a kind of a cat and mouse situation where he's looking for the good guy. This is actually a villain in this scene. So I might use that one again. Again, though, if I use a cliche, I want to subvert it somehow. We're not so different, you and I, and they're both wearing plaid jackets, something like that. Okay, we're going to go back to our list. Number 12. All right, this one. I told you I work alone. This was shot at a bar, at a dive bar here in Santa Barbara. And I wanted to shoot it inside at the bar in selfie mode, but it was crowded. And the bartender was like, "What are you doing with that phone? Are you shooting video of me?" I'm like, no, I'm a filmmaker, see? And I'm shooting a scene from my action series. And she wasn't having it. And she just really disliked me. So I went out and smoked a cigarette. And look how it's so gross. I don't smoke anymore. But oh man, it was like down to the filter. Look at that. I think it's because when I started this with a full cigarette, I might have taken a couple takes and I had to nail it on this one. Otherwise, that was probably my last cigarette too. Anyway, I told you I work alone. I'm going to use that one again sometime. Okay, here's another one. A two-shotter with establishing shot from Video Blocks. Thanks, but no thanks. Come on, that's another zinger. And they used to say that all the time. Luna's in this one again. I forgot to mention in the last two character sketch where he calls him Jack and he references Murdoch. Well, this is kind of the early stages of the Jack character that I've kind of developed for this show. Okay, we're going to go back, see what 14 is. All right, villain. Whatever he's paying you, I'll pay you double. Shot at by the Rose Garden there in Santa Barbara. Eye patch, make him look a little more menacing. Let's see what this one is. 15. Oh, eye patch villain again. This was shot in front of Casa de la Guerra, which is a mansion, historic house in the Upper East neighborhood of Santa Barbara. It's worth like $3 or $4 million. Added some music there. And I think that's when I was like, oh, I should be using more music in these sketches. No, I want him alive. Could use that one again. The idea is to not throw these all out, but reshoot them all sometime with an actual camera crew with hair and makeup people and script girls and someone who knows how to operate a camera, not just me with a cell phone in selfie mode. But that's the dream I'm trying to snowball to. And if I keep honing my craft and getting better at these with what I have to work with, I'm hoping that someday some other film professionals would be attracted to working with me and really flesh these out, make a feature length film or, you know, a weekly network televised series like MacGyver or Airwolf or the A Team, kind of a throwback to those action adventure shows. But and yeah, using those cliches and subverting them somehow, having talented writers write these episodes with under my direction, of course, because it's my property. Damn it! Actually, I'd be willing to sell it all and move on to other projects, but I have to stick with this one for now because it's all I got. All right, this came after a night of heavy drinking. I'm getting too old for this shit. I think I quit drinking for a month or so after that. Um, but I've gotten better with my drinking. As a matter of fact, I'd like to shout out to our sponsor for this live stream, Figaro Mountain Brewing Company. This is their Hoppy Poppy IPA, and it's in my top 3 favorite beers. Let me get my cozy. All right. Oh, here's my Tom Petty cover band cozy. I saw them in Wildwood Crest this summer. Excellent band. I can't read the name of this cover band on this right now. But if you get a chance to go to Southern New Jersey Shore, Damon the Torpedoes, Damn the Torpedoes, pettytunes.com is this Tom Petty cover band. And let me tell you something. I'm not big into cover bands. And I'm not big into Tom Petty, but for some reason, this was quite a show. And everybody was just rocking out to it. He played all the standards. Pretty much any Tom Petty song is a standard. He was just so prolific and a great musician. So shout out to Tom Petty, shout out to Damn the Torpedoes, and shout out to Figaro Mountain Brewing Company, makers of Hoppy Poppy. I told you, I work alone. All right. That was the 16, 17. Here we go. Okay. Here's S on the 101 freeway. First night shot, establishing shot, music.
You should have killed me when you had the chance.
Right, classic line right there. Let's see here. Oh, my second car scene.
Hold on. We got company.
This is where I started using sound effects. That wasn't my engine revving up like that. That was a post-production sound effect, and I think it's pretty convincing. And check this out. He's wearing the beanie that I'm wearing. Well, that's a different beanie. I lost that one in Half Moon Bay a couple summers ago. I don't know what happened to it, but um, I love this one because it had netting, and I sewed it to have a little bit of a hem to it. But here's the black pleather jacket. and the signature red undershirt that has become this character's kind of costume. I usually wear the red bandana too. But sometimes I forget to wear it because I'm a one person operation, one person cast and crew, and I'll often forget to do the smallest things like wearing a bandana or I don't know, not having a collar of a jacket popped underneath the shirt or whatever. So I do what I can. Oh, see, here he is again. Wearing the beanie,
Previously, on ManHeat.
establishing shot.
No way. It's going to put all our lives at risk. It's the only chance we got. Guys, there's no time for anything else. You're going to get us all killed. Guys, what else are we going to do? I'm in.
I'm in, right? There's always a computer hacker that goes, I'm in. This is the first episode I shot with 3 characters. And you'll notice we have my Jack character, early Jack, if you will. No bandana again. I think the bandana comes later. Here's the computer guy. That's me. And he's never seen again.
It's the only.
Here's my other character. I call him Billy. He shows up in a couple ones, and he was in the earlier 2-liner ones. But I've given him this signature maroon dry weave shirt with a backwards hat. And yeah, establishing shot, music. And I had to throw in that triangle because the triangle always indicates cleverness, I think. There's always like, oh, what are you up to? Oh, yeah, you're doing something really crafty, aren't you? So check this out when the triangle kicks in.
Guys, there's no time for anything else. You're going to get us all killed. Guys, what else are we going to do? I'm in.
Anyway, any filmmaker would see this and like, oh, you broke the 180 rule. Whatever. I do what I can. And there's no lighting, all natural lighting. I'm not going to cart around a big lighting set just as one person or mics, battery packs, all that stuff. I don't even remember which one that was. Was that 17? No. 19, 20? Okay. I think, yeah, that was 19. So 20, all right. I went to a place called Franceschi Park here in Santa Barbara to shoot this. And this is a trope. I'm not too crazy about the writing.
Since you dragged me into this mess, I've been chased by a rabid Pomeranian, propositioned by an assassin ballerina, accused of murder, waterboarded, shot at, and lost my designer eyeglass fittings in the process. Now I want answers.
Yeah, that one's okay. I could probably punch that up a little bit, and it seems a little serious, but I'm not going to pick it apart. It's shot in selfie mode. It's low res. You'll see Luna in there. She's very briefly in there.
Waterboarded, shot that, and lost my designer eyeglass.
You can barely see her that she was in that corner. I'm going to move on. Now, I want answers. That's a good line, though. I want answers. No one says that anymore. So I'm going to bring that back. I'm going to make these stock phrases popular again. I want answers. He slams a guy against the wall. I want answers. All right, let's see what this one's all about. Oh, eye patch film again. No witnesses, right? Classic hit job dispatch line. Ooh, Okay, here's another good one. Computer guy again.
Oh shit! Jack, get the hell out of there!
I probably should have put his glasses on and was the computer guy in that other sketch, the I'm in sketch. But I wasn't really thinking, I guess. I forgot to mention the previously on ManHeat. That's something I wanted to add because I wanted this to look like these little clips as if they were part of some actual full production. You get it. So it's either tonight on ManHeat or previously on ManHeat. Okay, 23. Oh, this is my favorite villain line.
Previously on ManHeat, you see, I am a man who gets what he wants.
Little sting at the end. Um, I'm playing a villain, and this is at the Riviera here in Santa Barbara. There's a office park. It's next to the Riviera Theater. They play art house films and stuff there. Pretty cool spot, and I didn't have a female um, act, character to play against. Usually, he'd be brushing her cheek, and she'd like cower and like get away from me, and he'd be like, "I'm a man who gets what he wants, or collects things, or you get it." All right, moving on. Okay, I like this one. Shot this one in New Jersey, actually.
Hello, Jack. You know, you got a lot of nerve showing up here after what happened in Budapest.
You got a lot of nerve showing up here after what happened in Budapest. I think that became a trope within the Marvel universe. So, but before it was a trope with them, this was actual cliche. I've seen many action films before then. Or if it wasn't Budapest, it was Prague or some interesting European city, because those type of towns evoke intrigue and mystique. So anyway, that was shot at my brother's house, my parents' house. They're both gone now. My brother lives there, and that was the shed I was visiting. So I shot a bunch over there a couple of years ago. This one is at the Beasley's Point Bridge, or it's Beasley's Point.
I underestimated you.
Again, selfie mode, autofocus. The light comes in and out. Not much I can do with it. Low res, but it's Ocean City over there. I'm in this park called JFK Park in Summers Point. I actually rode my bike there. I was like, oh, you know what? This is a nice sunset.
Previously on ManHeat, I underestimated you.
You can see my arm extending to hold the camera or the phone in selfie mode at me. Anyway, I underestimated you. Come on. How classic is that for a cliche movie line? Oh, another night shot.
Tonight on ManHeat.
Cover me, I'm going in. That had a very abrupt cutoff. But you get it. Cover me, I'm going in. I don't even have a gun next to my head. I think I had like a piece of wood, just some wood chip I found. I was very careful to place my hand behind my head so it looked like I had a gun. But again, I didn't want some security guard showing up. This is the medical center across or in the town where I grew up. And I used it as an establishing shot too.
Tonight on ManHeat. Cover me. Going in.
You get it. Alrighty. So that's, signature black pleather jacket, black beanie. I'm not using the voice so much there, the brooding, grovelly Jack voice. Oh, I really like this one because this was shot in Birch Grove Park in the town where I grew up in New Jersey. And on this day was a December morning, and there was some fog rolling in over the pond, and there's this lovely covered bridge, and this looked like a really cool place for an action hero to brood for a bit.
Previously on ManHeat. I knew I'd find you here. What do you want from me?
What do you want from me, right? Or I knew I'd find you here. That was suggested from a friend of mine, my friend Matt. And I was like, ooh, I'll do that. And I think that was the last one I shot in New Jersey for that trip. All right, let's go back to. And that concludes season 1. I'm wondering if I should stop the video here and do season 2 another time. Maybe I should. I'm going to look and see what people think. There's 2 people here, or the video in order to play it could help. I can't hear the video. Can you? Oh, shiza. You know what? I'm going to end it here. I'm going to do season 2 maybe next Friday, because there's no point in having a 3-hour movie or YouTube video where I'm just sitting here being a jackass. And I'd like to spread my jackassery sparingly and in doses, because most people can only take me in doses. And there has been some oh, you know what? Yeah. So what I've learned from this one, my first live stream, is, and I knew it was going to be a problem trying to show it on the screen here. I will set up the software. It's called OBS. I set that up. I can share my screen, and it takes the audio from the computer right into the video production, the streaming, and get some rest. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do season 2. I'm going to try to do it next week. And if I don't do it next week, I at least have to produce another ManHeat episode, because we're now into season 5. We're going on 5 months into the new year, and I only have two real episodes in the storyline. And you did mention, Chris, that I should put them in order. Yes. I think I'll do that when we get into where I've discovered that, okay, I need to cobble these into a story. The production has been, I'll shoot what I can, and these are just to be one-offs, but then I kind of reverse engineered and shoehorned them into a storyline. But you'll see later on that they follow the storyline closer. They do skip around a bit, only because an episode had certain needs and need to be shot at night, or this needed to happen, that needed to happen. So I shoot what I can, and then I try to curate them into the playlist to make it look like a storyline. So if you haven't watched the Fool's Gauntlet playlist, I recommend doing that. It's in my YouTube channel, Fool's Gauntlet. I'm calling it the Fool's Gauntlet because that's basically the storyline's name for that ManHeat season, if you will. Even though we're in season 5, the storyline spreads across 4 seasons. Also, I'm calling it the Fool's Gauntlet for people to find it, because I was self-conscious about the name ManHeat, or people going to be turned off by that and not want to watch it, because when they click on it, they'll see, oh, yeah, they're calling the show ManHeat. Why is it called The Fool's Gauntlet? I don't know. I'm trying all kinds of different things, and I'm open to suggestions. Anyway, I'm going to look at You Can't Rush Greatness. Keep the people thirsty. Thank you, my brother. I really appreciate that. Gosh, thinking of thirsty, I still have half a beer here. Later.